Respect right now for our team has been pretty unbelievable. So it's disappointing.
Stop everything you are doing right now. Turn off the TV, close every other tab on your browser, silence your phone, and lock the door. What we are about to discuss today is not just a sports story, it is the autopsy of a dynasty that died before it ever took its first breath. We are witnessing in real time the single most catastrophic financial collapse in the history of women's basketball, a meltdown so severe that it threatens to bankrupt the Indiana Fever franchise before the first tip-off of the If you are listening to this, you are on the front lines of a revolution. For the last 48 hours, the phone lines at the Indiana Fever ticket office have been ringing off a hook, but let me be clear, these are not fans begging for playoff tickets. These are not sponsors looking to buy courtside ads. These are the bells of a funeral. We have confirmed from multiple sources deep inside Gainbridge Fieldhouse that a mass exodus is currently underway. Thousands, and I mean literally thousands, of season ticket holders, the lifeblood of this organization, have flooded the customer service lines with one non-negotiable demand: refund my money. Cancel my seat. I am out. The waitlist that the Fever front office bragged about for 2 years, it hasn't just shrunk, it has evaporated. The Caitlin Clark economy that was supposed to save this league has crashed into a wall of fan resentment.
Team has been pretty unbelievable. So it's disappointing, that it doesn't go both ways, or it hasn't gone both ways. But we also can't allow that to consume us, right? Like, we've got to be able to play through that. We've got to be able to control the things that we can control.
And standing in the center of this wreckage, watching her career aspirations burn to the ground, is head coach Stephanie White. The reports we are getting from Indianapolis are terrifying. We are hearing that Stephanie White is in a state of absolute, unmitigated panic. Sources close to the coaching staff describe her as apoplectic. She isn't just angry, she is terrified. She is reportedly storming through the executive hallways, throwing files, screaming at the general manager, and realizing that she may have just made the biggest mistake of her entire life. Remember, she left a safe, championship-contending job in Connecticut for this. She came home to Indiana because she was sold a dream. She was promised the 90s Bulls. She was promised she would be coaching the greatest player on earth in front of 18,000 screaming maniacs every single night. But the reality she woke up to this morning is a horror show. She is staring down the barrel of a season played in a ghost town, coaching a team that the city has actively turned its back on. She is the captain of the Titanic, and she just realized the lifeboats are missed. To truly understand the depth of Stephanie White's terror, you have to peel back the layers of this decision. This wasn't just a job change for her, this was a legacy play. She came to build a dynasty. But sources say that in a closed-door emergency meeting held just hours ago, White confronted the ownership group with a stack of cancellation forms. She reportedly slammed them on the conference table and delivered an ultimatum that chilled the room. She told them, "I cannot coach in a graveyard. You promised me an empire, and you gave me a disaster. If this building is empty on opening night, I am not taking the blame for it." Think about the psychology of that moment. A coach needs energy. A young team like the Fever runs on adrenaline. If the stands are empty, or worse, if the fans who do show up are wearing Boycott the WNBA shirts, how do you motivate Aaliyah Boston? How do you tell Kelsey Mitchell to dive for a loose ball when the people she is playing for have abandoned the build? Stephanie White knows that the home court advantage was the only thing protecting this young roster from the sharks of the league. Without the fans, the Fever are just... But the question everyone is asking is, why now? Why did the dam break today? The answer lies in the breaking news we covered yesterday regarding Caitlin Clark's historic deal with NBC Universal. For 2 years, the WNBA executives held a gun to the head of the fan base. They operated with the arrogance of a monopoly. Their message was simple: if you want to see Caitlin Clark, you have to go through us. You have to pay our prices, you have to tolerate our terrible officiating, and you have to accept our disrespect of your favorite player because we are the only game in town. They held the product hostage. But when Caitlin Clark put pen to paper with NBC, she didn't just sign a contract, she handed the fans a pair of bolt cutters. She broke the hostage situation. The fans in Indiana are not stupid. They are some of the smartest basketball minds in the country. They looked at that NBC press release and they did the math immediately. They realized, wait a minute, I don't need the WNBA to see Caitlin anymore. They realized that even if the league locks out, even if the season is canceled, even if the Fever implode, Caitlin Clark will still be on their televisions every Sunday night. She will be sitting next to NBA legends, looking like a superstar, covering the biggest games in the world. The fear of missing out is gone, the leverage has shifted, and that is why the refund requests are pouring in. The fans are saying, why should I pay $4,000 for season tickets to a league that hates my favorite player when I can watch her thrive on NBC for free? It is a ruthless, calculated financial decision, and it is destroying the Fever's bottom line. Let's talk about the money, because this is where the story gets truly dark for the Fever ownership. We are not talking about a small dip in revenue, we are talking about a financial bloodbath. Insider projections suggest that if these refund requests are honored, the Fever are looking at a loss of over $15 million in ticket revenue alone. And that is just the tip of the iceberg. Think about the merchandise. Think about the concessions. Think about the parking fees. Think about the local TV ad revenue. When the eyeballs leave, the money leaves. We have received unconfirmed reports that two major local corporate sponsors, a bank and a healthcare provider, have already called the Fever front office to express deep concern about the negative sentiments surrounding the team. Sponsors hate controversy. They hate toxicity. If the narrative in Indiana shifts from support our girls to boycott the corrupt league, those corporate logos are coming off the court faster than you can blink. Stephanie White knows that her salary, her staff's budget, and the players' bonuses are all tied to this revenue stream. If the Fever go into the red, the world-class experience she was promised turns into a budget operation. The private planes vanish. The marketing budget disappears. She will be left coaching a discount team in a hollowed-out arena, and it gets worse. We need to talk about the ghost town effect. There is nothing more demoralizing in sports than a team that used to be popular. Playing in an empty arena that was built for 18,000 people is a psychological torture chamber. The acoustics are different. You can hear the sneakers squeaking. You can hear the other team's bench laughing at you. Stephanie White is terrified that this atmosphere will destroy the confidence of her young stars. How does she look Aaliyah Boston in the eye and say, "We are building something special," when the city is literally protesting the game? This boycott isn't just hurting the owners, it is hurting the product on the floor. It is turning the Fever into a toxic destination. Who is going to want to sign with Indiana in free agency if the fans are at war with the franchise? Nobody. Stephanie White knows she is watching her recruitment leverage die in real time. There is also a personal betrayal here that is fueling Stephanie White's rage. She feels she was lied to by the WNBA leadership. She feels she was the victim of a bait and switch. When she was interviewed for the job, she was undoubtedly told that the labor issues were minor, that the fan support was unconditional, and that Caitlin Clark was happy. But now she sees the truth. She sees a league at war with its own star. She sees a commissioner in Kathy Engelbert who has completely lost control of the narrative. Stephanie White is a winner. She doesn't do rebuilding years, and she certainly doesn't do political statements. She wants to win basketball games. But she has been thrust into the middle of a culture war. She is now the face of a franchise that represents everything the fans are angry about. When the fans boycott the Fever, they are boycotting her team, and that hurts. That keeps you awake at night. We also have to consider the impact on Caitlin Clark herself. Reports indicate that Caitlin has been strangely silent during this ticket exodus. And why wouldn't she be? This boycott gives her insane leverage. The fans are fighting her battle for her. They're the ones telling the league, treat her right or we starve you. Caitlin doesn't have to say a word. She can just sit back, prepare for her NBC debut, and watch the Fever front office sweat. But for Stephanie White, this silence is deafening. She needs Caitlin to come out and tell the fans, please stay. But Caitlin isn't doing that, and that has to terrify the coach. It suggests that maybe, just maybe, Caitlin isn't as committed to saving this franchise as they thought. Maybe Caitlin is looking at that NBC contract and thinking, I have a lifeboat, I don't need to go down with this ship. If Stephanie White senses that her star player has one foot out the door, then the panic we are hearing about is completely justified. Let's go deeper into the No Caitlin, No Cash movement. This isn't just a hashtag, it's a philosophy. We spoke to several former season ticket holders who have joined the boycott, and their reasoning is consistent and damn. One fan, a father of two who has held tickets since 2024, told us, "I'm not paying to watch my daughter's hero get headhunted while the refs swallow their whistles. I'm not paying to support a league that allows jealous veterans to bully a 22-year-old. I'm done. I'll watch her on NBC where she is treated like the queen she is." That sentiment is spreading like a virus. It is an emotional divorce. The fans feel like the Fever and the WNBA betrayed them. They invested their hearts and their wallets, and in return, they got a league that seemed resentful of their presence. Now they are taking their power back, and what happens if this spreads? That is the nightmare scenario keeping Commissioner Engelbert away. If the Indiana model of boycotting works, if the fans prove they can bring a franchise to its knees, what stops the fans in Chicago or Las Vegas or New York from doing the same? This could trigger a league-wide collapse. The WNBA is not the NBA. It does not have billions of dollars in it relies on gate revenue. It relies on momentum. If the momentum reverses, the league is fragile. Stephanie White is the canary in the coal mine. Her panic is the first signal that the entire structural integrity of the league is failing. We are looking at a timeline now. The clock is ticking. Opening night is approaching. Stephanie White has reportedly given the ownership a deadline. She wants assurances. She wants a plan to win the fans back. But what plan can they possibly have? They can't force the fans to spend money. They can't force the league to be competent. The Indiana Fever are trapped in a prison of their own making, built by years of taking the fans for granted. And Stephanie White is realizing she might be the warden of an empty prison. So as we stare into the abyss of this canceled season, you have to ask yourself, is this the end of the Indiana Fever as a powerhouse? Can they recover from a mass boycott of this magnitude? Trust is like a mirror. Once it's broken, you can fix it, but you can still see the cracks. The trust between the Fever and their fan base is shattered. And Stephanie White, a coach who just wanted to come home and win, is left holding the broom, trying to sweep up the shards of a broken dream. I want to hear from you because you are the ones making these decisions. If you were in Stephanie White's shoes, would you walk away? Would you quit before the season starts to save your reputation? And if you are a fan, is there anything the Fever could do to get you back, or is the bridge burned forever? Leave your thoughts in the comments because this is the most important conversation in sports right now. The revolution is televised, the boycott is real, and the Indiana Fever are fighting for their lives. Don't blink because the next domino to fall could be the franchise itself.